Filament Health is the leading naturally focused psychedelic drug developer. We have specific IP, which has enabled us to create the world's very first and still only natural psychedelic drug candidates. Why is this important? Well, focusing on natural when all other companies in the industry are focused on synthetic imparts several advantages to our strategy. Number one is the advantage of IP. Our candidates are highly complex and made with patented methods. This allows them to have very good protection from genericization in the future when the drugs are approved. Also, we know that people prefer natural products. Just look at the dietary supplement industry, at the cosmetics industry, at the food industry. People are crying out for more natural products, not more synthetic products. Also, we know that our products contain all of the active compounds from the raw plant material. If you think about cannabis, everybody knows that cannabis has much more than just THC or CBD. It's the same thing with magic mushrooms and other psychedelics. Our products are the only ones that contain not just the primary metabolite like psilocybin, but also the secondary metabolites like psilocin, baeocystin, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Over time, we actually hope to prove that the addition of these secondary compounds may prove to provide a therapeutic benefit in the clinic. We started Filament back in 2020 because we had spent our whole careers in botanical extraction, and we noticed a glaring hole, I guess, in the psychedelics industry, and that's that nobody was focused on naturally derived products. So we decided to bring all of our expertise making natural extracts for a variety of other industries into the psychedelics industry itself. And in the fall of 2021, we actually got the very first clinical trial authorization for a naturally derived psychedelic drug candidate. This was working with UCSF, University of California, San Francisco, down in the United States, where we do a lot of our clinical development today. Today, we're focused on developing our drugs for substance use disorders, including opioid use disorder and stimulant use disorder. And we're running clinical trials in all kinds of leading institutes all around the world. Here in Vancouver at University of British Columbia, both in Vancouver and the Okanagan campus. We're working with leading institutions in the United States, in Europe, London. So we're really one of the leading suppliers of psilocybin for clinical studies all around the world. I would say the thing that sets us the most apart is our focus on natural, and because of our focus on natural, the IP advantages that our drug candidates hold. Because of this IP advantage, we've actually been able to enter into revenue-generating licensing agreements with third parties who want to take advantage of our IP portfolio. So we have a number of licensing agreements in such different indications as palliative care, eating disorders, with companies like Science Group, Neolumina, companies that actually have based their entire drug development program on the IP portfolio and our drugs. So this is one of the really unique things about Filament, I think, the fact that we have the IP and we've already been able to leverage the IP to generate revenue. Currently, there are no approved psychedelic drugs. We're talking about a regulated therapeutic psychedelics market. So there are no approved drugs, either natural or synthetic. But we believe that in the future, when these drugs are approved, consumers will prefer natural products. And sometimes we get asked, well, when's the last time a consumer demanded a more natural pharmaceutical product? Because mostly pharmaceutical products are synthetic. But it's also, I think, fair to ask, when's the last time a consumer was given a choice, right? If a consumer is given the choice between a synthetic and a natural pharmaceutical product, I'd wager they would take a natural product 9 times out of 10. I spent my whole career in the realm of startups dedicated to novel botanical extraction technologies. I started my career in a lab making new cancer drugs from a shrub that grows in the Midwest. I moved on to another company where we made ingredients for a variety of different industries, including the supplement industry, the food coloring industry, the cosmetics industry. We sold that last company in the summer of 2018 for $26 million, which was actually 26 times revenue at the time. And that was all based on the strength of our IP portfolio. And really the skills and knowledge and experience of building a IP protected, naturally focused extraction company, selling it, is really what gave us the idea to start Filament. That we knew that by focusing on natural, when everyone else was focused on synthetic, we'd have a significant advantage over the competition by doing things a little bit differently. Not just my team and the team that came from our previously exited company. We've added a lot of experience in terms of capital markets in our CFO, Warren Duncan. We have added actually even more IP experience with our Director of Intellectual Property, Taryn Gray. Our board is very strong, composed of different investors, independent board members, audit committee chair. So really like the pieces that we built in our previously exited company, we added to those with capital markets, IP, marketing communications in order to really bring the full picture to bear. At the end of the day, we were forced to make a pretty tough decision. As the SPAC deal evolved and as it became clear we were going to have to make significant changes to the terms of the deal, at the last minute we ended up deciding that it wouldn't be in the best interest of shareholders because the deal in front of us had changed significantly compared to the one that we had signed up for at the beginning of the process. So while we did spend a lot of effort and many nights and early mornings and weekends getting the deal to 99% of the way there, that's not a reason to push something through that's not a good deal. And so we are very comfortable in the decision that we made, and the future is nonetheless very bright. We're exploring, lots of new exciting options besides the SPAC merger and the SPAC method for getting listed on NASDAQ. In terms of capital markets, I would say stay tuned. We have a couple of exciting things in the hopper that should be announced soon. In terms of company objectives, there's, as usual, lots of exciting things to look out for, primarily related to our internal drug development. As I mentioned, we're focused on developing our drugs for opioid use disorder and stimulant use disorder, which includes methamphetamines and cocaine-type stimulants. We have approved phase 2 studies in each of those indications, so look forward to those studies getting started, patients getting enrolled, and actually results coming out of there. From those studies, we plan to go into larger pivotal trials, which is really the first step in getting the drug approved. Also, look out for more academic partnerships where we provide drugs in exchange for data. So we get to learn about how our drugs work in new indications, new populations, new geographical locations, and we work with leading partners all around the world. We just recently announced that we were the first to ship natural psilocybin into Australia for their upcoming legal market. And we have several new jurisdictions that we'll actually be announcing soon where our products are available. So as I said, operationally, lots of exciting things going on at Filament all the time. I would say definitely, as with all drug development, the most important market is definitely the United States. They have the biggest insurance market, the biggest market for pharmaceuticals, and they have the FDA, which is the leading drug approval authority in the world. And so we're currently in the process of registering all of our studies with the FDA, even the ones that are conducted outside of the United States, so that they can be used for an eventual FDA approval. Looking ahead over the next couple of years for the psychedelics industry is a very exciting time because MAPS, the sponsor of MDMA therapy, actually recently submitted a new drug application for the approval of MDMA. And it's likely that we will have an approved drug in MDMA in the next probably 8 to 12 months, depending on how the regulatory process shakes out. And so this will be a fascinating watershed moment for the industry as we have all the hard work over many decades and blood, sweat, and tears that people have put in to actually get an approved psychedelic drug. And we're really on the verge of something very exciting. I would say that the normal things like the background of the management team, the fact that this isn't our first go around, that we've sold a company in a directly related field, we're bringing very relevant skills in terms of botanical extraction, company building, governance, all of those kinds of things. I would point to the amount of progress we've made as a company in an industry where many companies raised very, very large amounts of money and have little progress to show. I would suggest that we're the opposite. We've raised relatively modest amounts of money and yet have a very considerable amount of progress. I would say, take a look at our IP portfolio. As much as companies will try to claim they have a patent on this molecule or that molecule, really do your due diligence and see if that's really truly the case. Because the base condition of psychedelics is that it's pretty much impossible to get a patent on the molecules themselves. And this is because these compounds have been known for a long time and they come from natural sources. And so you see companies trying to come up with creative solutions, right? You patent the delivery device or make a synthetic analog or something like that. Our strategy allows us to use the Generation 1 psychedelic compounds, which we already know are safe and already have a pretty good idea of the efficacy, and yet impart very good protection in terms of IP into those drug candidates. And that's through our leveraging of the botanical drug guidance and of natural drug candidates. So all in all, I think we have the best team, the best strategy, very attractive indications, and it's very exciting.